Hitting rock bottom is always scary because the first thought that you'll have is, what in the world can I do now? Whatever you built is gone. You'll feel alone. Nothing makes sense anymore. It's not a fun feeling to go through. But I don't think I've ever been through that experience and regretted a single part of it. And as crazy as it might sound, I've actually got myself to a point where I can enjoy the process of failing or enjoy the process of reaching a low point. And when you can find the joy in reaching failure or reaching rock bottom, you will love every single part of your life 100 times more. And I'm going to try to teach you exactly how to do that. Rock bottom looks different for every single person, but the feeling is pretty much the exact same. That feeling that you literally cannot get any lower than you're at right now. And the standard for a low point varies from person to person, of course, but from my lens, I feel like I've been at what I can consider to be rock bottom a couple times in my life, especially recently, and I'm only really 19. So it's not like I've had the craziest low points in the history of low points. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I've definitely had a couple points in my life where I felt like I just couldn't take it mentally, where I was definitely mentally unwell in a lot of aspects in my life, and it just felt like I couldn't carry on anymore. But thankfully, I worked my way out of that. In those moments, that was definitely rock bottom for me. That was definitely a low point. And I kept finding myself with that feeling. And then I'm thinking to myself, why am I back here again? God, if you're trying to show me something, clearly I'm missing it. If you're trying to teach me something, clearly it's just going right over my head. And then I realized that for me, rock bottom was a pattern. That was no longer just a situation that I was in. It was a pattern. I kept finding myself back there. When you don't learn from rock bottom, you'll never leave it. You just escape it temporarily, and then it comes back for you. And if you've learned nothing from any of the situations that you found yourself in, it just comes back. And you'll be back at rock bottom. It's just the same feeling, just in a different font. And this is the pattern that I'm talking about. I never learned from my situations. I never learned from rock bottom. People always told me, it's always up from here, but nah, it was up and then it was right back down for me. But what I will say is that I was very excited to learn that being at rock bottom for me was a pattern rather than just a situation that I was unlucky to be in. Because if it's a pattern, that just means that something is causing me to be in that position. And if that's the case, something can be fixed, something can be changed, and I can find myself in better positions in the future. The first realization that I came to was that I always viewed rock bottom as a punishment, thinking that I did something wrong, so now I'm punished with this situation again. And that could very well be the case, right? Some situations, that's completely your fault. You're punished with that situation because of the things that you did to get there. But those times that you're not punished with the situation, sometimes you've got to view rock bottom as just training. Sometimes you've got to get beat down just to prove to yourself that you can stand back up. And not only that you can stand back up, but you can help yourself stand up. When you hit rock bottom, nobody is coming to help you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to give you this handout. You have to stand up by yourself. You have to be that person that looks yourself in the face and says, okay, we're in this position and now we can get ourselves out of it. You are supposed to be changing. You're supposed to be growing. You're supposed to be improving yourself. And if you're entering the exact same situation and every single time you view it as rock bottom and every single time you complain the exact same way you did the first time, then that just means that you haven't grown at all. I remember a while ago, rock bottom for me looks like failing a test in high school and that impacting my ability to get into college. That passed. I grew from that. Now I'm in college, right? That thing didn't impact me as much as I thought it did. Even a little bit ago, rock bottom looks like me not getting a text back from a girl and I was in my room sad thinking that the world just ended. And right now, rock bottom looks completely different in the best way. Those situations that I would view as rock bottom before are now first world problems for me. And I'm very blessed to be able to say that. But that really just means that I've grown from those situations that I was in and I continue to raise the bar for myself. If you are not continuously raising your bar, how can you ever say that you're improving in life or even improving personally? And this isn't me trying to make you feel bad about yourself, because that's not what I want to do at all. But if you look back a year ago today and your bar is in the exact same place that it was a year ago today, what improvements can you say that you've done? Realistically, if a year ago today I was curling 30 pounds and I go back to the gym today and I'm still curling 30 pounds, what have I done? That's just an objective fact. I have not made any progress in that situation. And I say all that just to bring it right back to the point. If you keep finding yourself in these rock bottom situations and it seems like it's the exact same situation year after year, it seems like you're complaining about the same things year after year, you've got to realize that you're viewing rock bottom completely wrong. You're not practicing, you're just in there complaining. You're just in this position acting like you shouldn't be in that position. But the reason that you keep getting yourself back to that position is because you haven't grown and you haven't learned. And God is looking at you saying that he's going to make you keep doing it until you finally learn how to get yourself out of it, or until you finally learn that this situation isn't as bad as you might think it is. And I can use myself as an example. A couple weeks ago, I found myself in a place that a while ago I would definitely have considered rock bottom. And when I say rock bottom, I mean it would have been the lowest of the lows for me. But instead, through every single challenge that I've been through the past year or so, I've been continuously building up that faith in myself, because that's really what rock bottom does. It shows you exactly the person that you are, and it builds you up to becoming the person that can find themselves out of that situation. So a couple weeks ago, when this thing happens to me, I'm not complaining. I'm not sad. I'm not angry at myself, angry at God. I'm not angry at all. I'm excited. I'm excited to learn, and I'm excited to build that faith in myself. Instead of viewing it as rock bottom, I viewed it as an opportunity to prove to myself and prove to God that I am that person that I think I am, and I'm that person that I want to become. The mentality that I had going into that situation was that if this situation is going to try to break me down, it's going to have to try a lot harder than that, because I'm going to be viewing every single setback as an opportunity to make a step forward. And it's definitely a very exciting experience when you can start going through those unfortunate setbacks and viewing it as a positive experience. And I want you to think about the things that you're currently complaining about in your life. Maybe you failed a test, maybe you got broken up with, maybe you lost some money. I don't know what it is, but think about how much you're complaining about that thing. Think about how much you're trying to get some pity points. And I'm not saying that your emotions aren't valid, because they definitely are. There's always a time and place to feel your emotions. But if you're sitting here trying to study for a test and the only thing that you're doing is complaining about having to learn something, you're not going to learn a single thing. But if you just sit there and understand, okay, this is where I'm at. I don't know that much. So I'm going to have to learn a lot. If you understand that that's where you're at, you can learn a lot more. So think about the things that you're complaining about currently in your life, and then try to flip that and try to think about the things that you could be learning from those situations. Think about what you could be using to benefit from that unfortunate setback, because I promise you there's always something. Even those situations that you feel like are only supposed to tear you down, there's always going to be something that can help you build some strength. When you feel your weakest, you are always your strongest, because that is the only opportunity that you have to prove to yourself that you are not as weak as you say you are. You cannot waste that opportunity. Every single time life tests you, every single time God tests you, you need to take advantage of that. If you want to be great, you've got to be challenged. If you want to be great in your life, in whatever aspect that might be, you have got to be pushed. And if you're not being challenged, you need to start reevaluating if you're going the right direction. I don't know about you, but I want to be great. I want to be the best version of myself. And I love hitting rock bottom, because that is my opportunity to prove that I can do it. You will never wake up and just so happen to become that person that you want to become. You have got to prove to yourself that you are that person, and you do that through these situations where we feel like we can't find ourselves out of. Failure never breaks you. Rock bottom never breaks you. Those tragic events will never break you. It just shows you who's willing to climb out of that situation. If you want to become that version of you that you see yourself becoming, not only do you have to have faith in yourself, but you have got to prove it to yourself as well.